Now time for business, and Emmanuel Abwajiria is here with the very latest. Emmanuel.
Hi, Aisha.
We're hearing of the resignation of the toll boss.
Yes. Earlier in the day, he actually resigned, announced his resignation from being the managing director of toll.
Okay, reason?
Well, for him, he said he gave himself some targets and he's achieved those targets, so he needs to resign.
Oh, not bad. Take it away.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining me on business tonight. Energy expert Kwadwo Poku has praised former managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery, Isaac Osei, for his remarkable legacies he is leaving behind as he resigns from his position. It will be recalled that Isaac Osei embarked on a protracted period to maintain the residual fluid catalytic cracker at the refinery. Mr. Poku says his successor would have to emulate his example.
The short 2.5 years that he's been there, I think he's done well. He made sure that the maintenance, the key for a refinery is maintenance, and they didn't have a good maintenance culture coming in from the Wadapo era. They didn't have audited accounts coming in from the Wadapo era. And I think he has done well to make sure that the audited accounts are at least up to speed, and then the maintenance are done. I mean, there has been 2 or 3 parcels that has been refined during his tenure, and all of them recorded very good margins in terms of the losses in the system has been reduced as compared to the past. So, like I said, I'm very surprised, and I think we will look forward to find out, and maybe as the days unfold, we'll get to know a bit more why he has resigned. The refinery is there to refine as many parcels as possible. Tema Oil Refinery can do up to 1 million barrels a month. So he had challenges when he came in. One, nobody had confidence in going to Tor to refine. Tor had a bad name with the bankers. Tor had a bad name with the traders. Nobody was confident that if you take your product to Tor, you will not get a lot of losses and you would get very good yield. So nobody wanted to go to Tor. Within the 2 years, that confidence has been built, and now companies are very confident to take products there. As we all heard in the news about 2 weeks ago, the 11 million barrels of crude that is coming in to make sure on tolling, they can now toll those barrels. I don't think anybody will go into Tor and think he will only refine 2 barrels. I think, like I said, Isaac has done well, and just to make sure that the place is maintained, the maintenance is done, and physical policies are put in place to make sure the place is in profitability.
Isaac Osei is said to have announced his resignation to staff of Tor at an end-of-year gathering. Sources say his resignation came to the staff as a surprise.
It's also the time when I talked about transitions. If you are that kind of person, please change. And share what you have, the bounty that you have. But sharing also means that you care. And that, I think, is the message that I want to leave. So, I'm in transition. Yesterday, we had a meeting of the board of directors. At that meeting, I presented a letter to the chairman of the board indicating my intention to step down as managing director of this company. Some of you recall that I said all I wanted to do was to get 2 parcels for Tor, after which I think we could run on our own. Now, we've done almost 4 parcels, and we have several more to do. So I think that is progress. For me, it's as good a time to exit as ever. So I have really enjoyed the company of many of you. Some of you have become my friends. And friendship is not just about taking advantage of people. The friendship is about caring for the progress and development of individuals whom you may come into contact with. And I hope that some of the relationships that are built over the years in this place will continue. You may not see me here physically again when I leave on 31st, but you can be assured that if I have a voice anywhere, I will speak up for Tor.
Away from that, CEO of Universal Microfinance Company Limited, Kojo Fufie, has called on the Bank of Ghana and other financial sector regulators to fast-track payment of locked-up funds to affected customers whose financial institutions suffered during the financial sector cleanup. He spoke with Joy Business after the company organized a health screening exercise for the community within which it operates in Accra as part of the company's corporate social responsibility.
A lot of these institutions who have their licenses revoked have other financial institutions as well as individuals who have their monies there. And the government, the Bank of Ghana, and even recently SEC have all promised that people should go and validate and then they will get their monies. But irrespective of your money, now the highest amount that you are being given is 20,000. So imagine a financial institution has, say, 1 million or 2 million with another financial institution that has the license revoked, and you go there and get only 20,000. Now, assuming, and which is most likely, that you have collected monies from a lot of your customers, probably 1,000 or 500 or all that, and this money is locked up and you don't get it to pay them, then the chances are that even though those institutions are considered healthy, very vibrant, strong, eventually they will also get into trouble. And I can see some other institutions getting into trouble. So I want to humbly request that Bank of Ghana, SEC, with the Ministry of Finance and the government in general, look at, getting funds to pay as they've promised, so that the institutions that have their monies locked up will get money to run, because our business is run effectively on liquidity and solvency, and all when monies are not coming, these key areas will be affected, and eventually it will be difficult for the institution to continue operation. And with the key supervision by the regulator. We had a visit from the regulator and it has been good. People are now more careful. And so in the coming year, I see a very vibrant financial sector, a very very responsible institutions delivering on their mandate of giving loans and taking deposits from people. And then looking at the fact that the interest rates, the lending and borrowing rates are coming down, it is going to be a good year for anybody or institution or a businessman who positions himself very well.
Meanwhile, the Foreign Exchange Department of the Bank of Ghana has begun a stakeholder engagement with the business community on the need to quote and price goods in the local currencies alone. The move is part of measures to help control the fall of the cedi and enforce the laws on foreign exchange in the country. Advisor to the Governor of the Central Bank, Grace Akrofi, hinted that the Central Bank is concerned about the rate of depreciation of the cedi and says it will ensure it is well controlled. Here's more in this report.
The three-day event saw officials of the Central Bank engage estate developers, construction sector workers and other sectors of the economy. The move is to help enforce regulations on pricing in foreign currency. Advisor to the Governor, Grace Akrofi, in a keynote address, noted that despite the growing concern about the depreciation of the cedi, the Central Bank is working to control it.
In spite of the macroeconomic successes attained so far, the stability in the exchange rate remains a key concern. In most cases, the Ghana cedi has depreciated at a very fast pace against the major international currencies, not as a result of economic fundamentals, but driven mainly by the sentiments and illicit foreign exchange market practices. The resultant effect is the volatility in exchange rates, which significantly impacts market activities.
President of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, Patrick Ebobonfo, urged the Central Bank to improve upon its dialogue process with the private sector to reduce the dominance of the dollar.
So it is very easy to pick and choose and point out to those who are out there trying to do business and quoting in dollars, much as it is against the law. We agree, and we will not, I will not encourage anyone to go against the law. But during dialogues like this, we will point it out to them what the difficulties they are pushing businesses into. to see whether we can all chart a common path forward and then have the situation change. Just attacking the issue with real estate developers alone will not bring the solution. We all know it. Dialogue meetings like this are very important, and I hope sincerely that when we put our matter or our challenges across to them, we will find a common ground where we can all move forward and find a solution. We all want this country to succeed, and if Ghana prospers, we prosper.
The dialogue by the central bank is expected to be replicated in other parts of the country. Eben Sabute's report for Joy Business.
And that's all in business in the first segment. There'll be more business when I return after 8 p.m.